So I'm gonna get this underway. So the first matches we're gonna watch are going to be, it's gonna be Mago versus Punk. I glanced through this like when it was happening, like not even when it happened, because when I was at Combo Breaker, I was playing a lot of sets, so I didn't really get to watch matches like that. But when I saw that they played, like going back on YouTube and just searching through and seeing what matches happened that I might have missed, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder how this went, because Mago used to play Karen, right? So what's dope about this set is that you'll see Punk, he's gonna demonstrate like a couple of really cool things that might go unnoticed. It's like the strength of understanding the opposing character, because you've played them. You'll be able to make these reads in really peculiar situations that would often go unnoticed. Like you would never think to do that if you didn't play the character, because it's a common set offensive sequence, you know. So I'm gonna pinpoint that. So that's gonna be really, really cool. I was watching that today and I noticed it for the first time. I was like, wow, that was actually really good, because I've played both characters, so I understood why Punk did it. And then the second set is gonna be Xian versus NL from Combo Breaker. So of course, as always, I have my handy dandy notes, so you guys know I'm about to go in. I'm about to have some fun, and let's get it started. All right.
He's sitting on the two-player side.
Let me get this. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, cool. So let's see. So nothing too drastic until about 89 seconds. So the first 10 seconds is just standard Street Fighter play. All right. So when we get to the 89-second mark, I'm gonna pause it and we're gonna talk about something very, very like I guess you could say small, but there's nothing small in this game, because something small can just snowball into some crazy shit, you know. Sub Zeph, I believe knowing the player in his or her style, not the flow charts of a character, is the hardest part of the duel. It is, depending on what your strengths are as a person. If you're like naturally empathetic and you can really like sense out people's intentions or their emotional state like in real time, it's a lot easier to do that, you know. But then maybe that strength will end up creating some sort of lack in another area as a player, you know. So like, be grateful of your strengths and your weaknesses, and just cultivate your strengths, of course, and then curb your weaknesses as much as possible. So you got to figure out, what are you good at? All right, so don't get discouraged. All right, so let's see.
Welcome to the land of the top tiers, Mago. That's what I'm saying, right? That's what Mago
Okay.
does. Yeah, that is what he does. We was pointed this out, that he does like playing optimal, especially if he's trying to engage at how the engine of the game plays.
Now that is such a subtle situation in real time. This is why you have to analyze, because in a game this fast, it's hard to learn until you're learning outside of the game. You know, you have to make your muscle memory of learning outside of the game, you know, a thing, and then once you've absorbed that approach, you'll be able to actually do it somewhat in a real time, in an actual match, in a tournament match even, where there's pressure on you. So like, this situation right here is super subtle. All right, just pay attention to this. You see that right there tells you that Punk as a player is really aware of just multiple variables. He's aware of his positioning, he's aware of his own strengths as a player, right, where he's willing to jab and then just walk up, right, with that confidence, because he's a very confident player. He's young, and that helps, of course, too, because you can say they're kind of just like careless or reckless or whatever, but it's a strength, and it's something a lot of people envy, because they don't have that, you know, because maybe they just have so much fear in themselves. And so you see here, he does a crouching jab, and he immediately walks up and tries to back throw him. So the reason why he wants to back throw him, of course, is to put Cammy in the corner where Punk's natural strengths are, which is like suffocating his opponent with his offense. Okay, so right there, that's just like a little tidbit of information. Like, he's aware of his positioning and the possible advantage of him taking that type of risk early on. Granted, if you look at his health, Punk's already down like 33%, and Mago barely got touched. He didn't really get hit, you know, until that jab. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you right there that Punk is just really keen, and he's like in the match totally, in terms of meters, spacing, you know, the mental pressure. You'll see that go on throughout the set. So let's see. Yeah, okay. So basically, if I could simplify this, I would say that Punk is just really good at turning unfavorable situations into his advantage. All right, so just think about that. So instead of you, like, say if you're complaining about something in the game that really pisses you off, try to figure out, like, hey, how can I turn this situation that I really, really struggle in into my favor? Because once you start to incorporate that type of attitude, even if the intention is different, like say Punk says that to himself because he's confident. Maybe somebody else says that because they're solution oriented. Like, point stands, you still get to the same destination. If you want to overcome any sort of hurdle that you have, try to work, you know, around that weakness and turn that into a strength potentially, right? See, okay. So he performed his first standing heavy kick. So this goes back to what I was saying about him being aware, because you look at his bar, right? V reversal, he's like, if you look at the V meter, he's one crush counter away from getting V trigger. So notice after he does the low forward, that's when he starts swinging it. All right. That of course can be used against him though. That is something like I hope that he's aware of, is that this is a thing that he tends to do, is that he becomes more aggressive when he gets closer to V trigger. So if you actually increase your movement against these type of players, you would increase the chances of you landing some sort of like momentum altering sequence, because he starts to increase his risk by fishing for the damage. And you know, and he likes to pressure obviously, right? So he's trying to play into his strengths. But by him whiffing the roundhouse back to back like that, that is like, that's a big tell. Tuck Dream, hi, the health bar is not shown on purpose. Oh no, I just like cropped it on the browser and it's just like that. But you don't have to really worry about the health bars too much, because the focus is going to be on just the decisions on the screen.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't want to like make it seem like, oh, he's just playing different characters. I think that's really smart.
As far as I'm concerned, he's a Cammy player.
Okay, so this is another big sequence. So of course, frame advantage is very important in the game, because you know, if you're at plus frames, I can move before you, and that means that I have more options and stuff like that. Tuck Dream, thank you for the follow, my brother. I appreciate it. So this sequence right here, this subtle sequence after the stand roundhouse V trigger, he does crouching strong and he just waits. That tiny pause, it's so like, it's so quick. If you don't see it, you'll just think that he walked up to you, you know, because it's just, all you saw were the moments before and afterwards. The mark of a great player, in my opinion, is somebody that just, he doesn't allow any detail to go unnoticed. But of course, you don't want to drown in details either, so it's a fine line. You have to learn how to balance that. But you do pick and choose which information is, I would say, like, significant. All right, so like by him doing this, and if you were to just be totally selfish or just emotional, you might miss this. You might miss, after the crouching strong, this crouch. That right there is information. Body language is information. You know, if you see somebody that's like antsy in real life and they're just kind of like, you know, not making eye contact, you're like, damn, something's off, you know? And then you can have that same type of conversation in Street Fighter where somebody's moving a certain way and it can tell you like, yo, does this person have ulterior motives? What is this person trying to accomplish? So like these little moments are so subtle that's why analyzing matches it's really important, because you'll be able to go back and see things you didn't see in real time, you know? Because the things you're seeing in real time in a match, it's primarily done through your muscle memory. But if you haven't incorporated this into your muscle memory, it's a skill you're not going to be using in real time when two people are just going at it, you know? So that was really subtle. So that situation right there tells you that Punk is looking for information. When he does a crouching strong, he's waiting. He's waiting to see. So that accomplishes multiple things. He can potentially beta EX DP, right? Because if you look at Cammy's bar, she has a bar. All right, cool. So there's that. He can also potentially beta a throw tech, because you never know. Some people they tech after situations like that. They just do it. They don't care about the spacing, you know? So he can see how disciplined you are with spacing. He can see if you delay a crouch jab, because now he can set up his offense after that sequence. You see what I'm saying? But he's clearly out of throw range, so he doesn't really have to worry about much, because he's blocking. He's committing to a block, so it's a delay. All right, so a lot of times, if you see somebody's offense, if it has a delay, that means somebody's fishing for information. If somebody is like more committal, they're more likely to be aggressive and just looking for damage. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Fast play, right? Good limbs, Definitely Mago right up Mago's ladder. Okay.
Okay, so you see,
Kind of a defensive while he jumps in just as I
all
say
right.
that.
So he started to like kind of go back more
Good limbs.
to like this range. So when he's at this range, like his mindset is he's not aggressive, obviously, because if he was aggressive, he'd be moving forward. Where my mouse is, he'd be over here around like zone 2 sweep range, damn beating kick range for Karen. But the reason he's over here, it's weird, right? She doesn't have a fireball. Cammy doesn't have a fireball, so it's not like I'd be over here doing Rasenha over fireballs. Doesn't make sense, right? But again, that's why you have to track these things. When you see things like this that don't really add up in terms of how their behavior was previously, you have to ask yourself, what is he looking for? If he's not showing you anything, then it has to tell you something else. Like there's something else that's brewing potentially, you know? All right.
Mago right up Mago's ladder. Okay.
See, so he's walking in and out of range,
Good limbs. Definitely Mago right up
and he's okay. So obviously that means he was trying to look for something. So if I were to see that, right? If I seen him doing that, I would be like, let me whiff something that I don't potentially get whiff punished into a lot of damage, all right? Because he's looking for something very particular, but I don't know what it is because the match just started. We're literally round 1 in. I know like we've been talking for like 10 minutes, but it's only a round in and he's playing like that already, and we're not even in the end game yet. So we both still have around like Cammy has like about 40, she's like 53% probably, something like that, a little over 50%. And Karen is over 50% also. So we're not even in the end game of the match. So the fact that he's playing like that already is kind of just like, you should proceed with caution. Don't give him too much, so then you play into that. You give him like little light attacks to just see where his mind's at. All right.
Okay.
He's playing kind of a defensive while he jumps in just as I say that. Good stuff.
You know, and a lot of Karen players did say that they enjoy this match.
So you see how I was saying earlier how he'll turn like situations that are not favorable into advantageous situations. Look at this. Walk back, right? So walking back is really good against Cammy after certain strings, and then he tries to turn that into offense. So that's something you could keep in mind, is like you could potentially use that against him, where you would string him up and then maybe you'd commit to like a jump, or you'd walk back and whiff punish. So you can increase your whiff punish consistency by seeing he's committing, you know what I'm saying? Or if you do go back a little bit, he does react to it and he's out of range though, right? So maybe what I could do is I can whiff another button that looks similar to stand roundhouse in startup, but I recover a lot quicker. All right.
Karen players did say they do not enjoy this matchup.
Right.
You know,
So he's trying to bait there. That was what Mago was trying to do.
they want to be spoiled.
So you hit him with a standing jab. All right, that's fine.
Mago.
Okay.
Oh, do we have the names wrong? Let me find out. No, that's Mago.
Okay.
Is it?
So start of the round. Watch this. Okay. So this is another small thing that would often go unnoticed. It's like, okay, Mago misspaced his dive kick, but there's a bunch of elements that are going on in here. So if we go back a little bit, I want you to pay attention to his shimmy, right? Because it looks like he's moving back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, right? So you'd think he'd be in the same place. But if you look really closely, he's actually moving forward more than he's walking back. So think of it like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That means you moved 1 step forward, right? If you do your math. So he's basically doing that. So it creates the illusion that he's in place, but he's actually moving closer to you. So what happens is, remember what we said Monday, the closer you are to your opponent, what happens? The more likely you are to punish your opponent, the more likely you are to optimize the punish, and you will, mathematically speaking, increase pressure on your opponent. Black Acid, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. So you see how he moves forward. See? Look at that. And he gets the whiff punish. But had he been moving back and forth and he stayed at this range, low forward would not have hit. It wouldn't have hit.
I'm trying to look at their hands.
Right? Because look where her original foot was. Her original foot was like right on that white mark on the sidewalk, on the crosswalk right over, right here, right? So
I'm trying to look at their hands.
if she stays here, this low forward is definitely gonna whiff because that barely connected. That barely. She was back here originally, but because Punk does the forward crouch, you know, walk back slightly, walk forward more. He's mathematically he's closing in on proximity with his opponent.
Okay, Mago definitely Cammy. Got it.
See, and he's doing it again now.
Welcome
All right.
to the tournament.
So right there, that's big. So he whiffed 2 fierces, and Punk doesn't whiff punish. Punk always whiff punish. Why didn't he whiff punish that? That means his focus is on something completely different, some other variable. All right. So let's rewatch this again. You see, remember? Look at that. And remember what I said too. When he's shimmying and he's away from like that, when he's not like up in your face and he's shimmying far away, he's looking for something, right? You guys are gonna see there's gonna be a shift. So let's go back to this. So you see he's still shimmying, so that he's buffering his DP there. That's why you see the crouch, walk back, crouch, because you know on pad he's doing down, down, back, down, down, back. So naturally the character is gonna be moving backwards. See, and then he gets the DP. So what happened there though is because Mago did the dive kick really early, and Karen's DP is only invincible for 5 frames. The trade happened. See? So yeah, so he's still showing like he's revealing little bits of information that he's still in this defensive mode, because you see how he's trying to move away. He's not really being aggressive. Like somebody that's aggressive that really wants to stay on offense, they would have woke up DP. They would have woke up and jabbed or something. You know what I'm saying? But he backdashed, which is usually a defensive movement because you're creating space. Somebody that's offensive minded doesn't want to create space. They want to close the gap or take advantage of the fact that you're close in proximity as is, right? But instead he does this. So right there, especially because it's a negative situation, Mago, if he had just waited a little bit and just took his time, you don't have to guess right away all the time. Just watch what he's doing. You know, that V skill wasn't a good V skill because Punk is still in the defensive mindset. He's still looking for something. That's why he was able to do that. That V skill, you have to apply it. You have to apply it really skillfully. You can't just do it. You have to like, you can, let's say you just do it, cool. But what I'm saying is like against really great players, you have to lure their focus to other areas of the matchup in order to strengthen that aspect of Cammy's offense.
Hard to get something like that on Punk's reactions.
All right, so Mago gets the back throw. That was a meaty setup after back throw.
Mago is a frame trap monster, so we're definitely gonna see that a lot from him. Okay,
all right.
Very annoying button to deal with.
Mago backing off.
So now he's being aggressive.
There's a lot of backwards walking out of him and then a weird jump at a weird time.
He's not checking enough with low forward either. You can definitely tell he's fresh with the character. There we go.
So when he's aggressive, he'll even press buttons when he's negative. Hence why he got counter hit by the low forward. After low forward, he got counter hit for pressing something. That situation is so good. That was what I was telling you guys about earlier. This is how you know Punk played both characters, because he was so aware of that spacing. At this spacing, Cammy can't get shit. Like she's gonna block string you, or she's gonna walk up and throw. She can't throw you immediately. There's too much block stun, and she's not in range to throw you, so she has to walk up. So if you walk up and throw, you can't really react to the person being there. You just do it, right? So Punk is aware of this, and that's why he commits, right? Because look at Mago's Cammy. He walks up and tries to throw. See? And Punk was prepared for that. And he turns it into offense. So this is the next lesson of his offense. So what he does also is that he has multiple approaches on how to be offensive, and he might switch up his approach if it's open game, mid game, end game. I haven't studied like the timing of it, but you can just see like the strategy and approach, the amounts that he has, right? So you know how he was doing the shimmy back at like zone 3. If you guys haven't watched that stream where I was teaching about zones, that's on my YouTube channel. You guys can catch that. But when he backs up and he starts shimmying at zone 3, that start of the match spacing, he's more defensive minded, all right? But when he starts to shimmy in sweep range, that's when he's more aggressive, hence the dash, all right? Look at this. He's shimmying like right there. So obviously he's shimmying to bait a throw or something, right? And that means like he's trying to go for damage. So if you can figure out when your opponent is trying to go for damage, or if you can diversify, you know, like you can create multiple, like, how would you say, languages within your character of offense, it'll be a lot harder to read you as a player. All right. See, so then he gets hit with the dash. Now he's back to a defensive stance, and look what happens with punishes. You see, he wasn't. Why would he move back there? after the air-to-air, he could have dashed back in if he stayed aggressive, but no, there was a shift. So his shift, see, he was playing defensive. So there's that. That was really good. All right. So now, what do you guys think so far? I'd like to see some comments, if that makes any sense, before I move on to the Xian video. Whoa, God! Blessings from the Most High. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. Much love to you. Feel free to introduce yourself. Talk some shit. Hot Stepper, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Boris, thank you for tuning in. Matty Ice, thank you for tuning in. See you lurking in here. Little big boy. Eye Pacer. Goopy. Who else? Freaking Big Panda. Adio Sun. I appreciate you guys. T_XX. It's probably just like a crying emote face or some shit. I don't know. Makes perfect sense. Now I gotta analyze my replays to see when I shift from offensive to defensive. Yeah, it's really good to know because you'll also be able to tie your emotions to the shift. You see what I'm saying? Because let's say naturally you're defensive, right? But then all of a sudden you become extremely offensive and you watch this replay, you're like, yo, why did I do that? That doesn't really make sense, and I didn't really have much reason for doing it. There's probably something that happened that caused you to go into like a fight or flight mode, you know, especially if you don't have emotional discipline. Usually one of three things happen. You start fighting, you start flighting, right? Or flying away. You try to avoid shit, or what ends up happening is you freeze up. You don't know what to do. You're like, you know. But the more skilled and more disciplined people, emotionally, they're able to still just maintain that zen and be present-minded. You know, that's why meditation is awesome. Or if you do like some sort of combat sport, that really can help. Never noticed how often Punk plays in a defensive style. Exactly, you would have never noticed it. And people think that his like offense is like, oh my god, it's overbearing. No, it's just really compact. It's like calculated and it has like a flow to it, you know. And there's a story behind it. So when you see the story, you're like, oh, I can understand now. And now, you know, you can kind of narrate it yourself. What's up, Marquise? So let's see. Boop. All right. Let's see. So, yep, I already talked about the zone 2 crouch buffering. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now we go on to the latter half of the lesson today. So see, I'm going right through it, guys. It's only been, what, like 20 minutes? Oh, it's been 35 minutes, but whatever. 20 minutes of me streaming. Honesty 1, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope you are having a good time, guys. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitch. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. And I'm also a sub affiliate. So if you are a Twitch affiliate, rather. So if you guys are enjoying your comment, you have a Twitch Prime, you just have lurking around, just throw it at me. Why not? You know, and you get access to this crying emote as Zaf. It just, I don't know, it just looks appropriate. So yeah. All right, so I'll continue with it now. So now we're moving on to Xian versus NL. So let's see. So the focus of this set is going to be the defensive adjustments that Xian makes. All right, because Xian is more of a defensive fighter. Also, if you've watched him in Street Fighter 4, you see like he played defensively with Gen. He played more footsie oriented. And then when he got the knockdown, he began his offense. That's when he like put the foot on the pedal and he was just like, zoom, I'm out, right? So you're gonna see that here. Of course, the game it's more offensive, so you're gonna see him. He's an active player, but he still moves back more and retracts, and he kind of lets you like make the mistakes until he can convince himself that, you know, it's okay for me to move forward, type of thing. All right. So we're gonna pay attention to his defensive adjustments. off of this really simple sequence with NL, and then we're gonna see like this one mind game or of like this awareness that Xian has in this reset that I think is really important, so you guys can start taking advantage of this. All right, so let us watch this, and okay, let's go.
Defeated infiltration and sort of waking up looking stronger. He's coming into this with a lot of momentum.
Already you can see them both trying to play this by being very cautious on the ground right here. But, you know, Ibuki doesn't quite have the...
Okay, that was really good by NL, right? So you see how he does the counter poke or whatever. So it's dangerous because usually Cammy's dive kick after low forward. That's like autopilot Cammy stuff. So if you have a hard time like against Cammy and you're like, damn, I don't know what to do, just like block her medium pokes and then just look for dive kick, because that's usually when they dive kick, because it creates the spacing that makes dive kick safe. So they'll block string into it and then they jump. That's like the easiest Cammys to fight because they just kind of do it. All right, so anytime, this is totally like a different lesson, but anytime a trade happens, usually the lesser disciplined player moves first. All right, so look what happens here. So a trade happens and NL moves. All right, well, they both moved at the same time, but NL took the bigger risk by jumping. All right, because what if Xian just froze from getting hit? Xian does the V skill, but I understand why he does the V skill, because the V skill has evasive properties. So when if he was to try to like counter poke, then Xian's Ibuki would retract the hurt box and then go back in, like you've seen earlier a couple of seconds prior right here, crouching medium, and he does the V skill, right? On block he gets V bar, and it's like, all right, it's negative, but whatever. Obviously Ibuki wants that V trigger. So something to keep in mind is after a trade situation or after a throw tech, kind of treat them the same way. And in those situations, just observe. Like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to initiate your offense every opportunity. That's the thing, like, that intermediate players don't grasp, is that they kind of play too black and white, where they're like, all right, I'm plus, I got to take advantage of my plus frames. Like, no, you don't really have to do that. All right, so 3 times in a row, tries to go for it for a fourth, and he gets hit. All right. That was a good block.
And causing him to lose one half of that V trigger. But look at this, with this life lead already, and no V trigger for Xian. So the only way he's going to be able to make this comeback is with some EX kunai mix-ups. And he tried right there.
All right.
He could have almost...
His dive kick spacing is not that great, but he's so good at everything else that it just like kind of makes up for it. All right.
Now you're just gonna put all these question marks into Xian's head. When is NL gonna be willing to go for these EX uppercuts? Oh my God! Confirmed off of...
All right. Let's see. Look at this. So this is another one of those subtle situations that might just pass you by. So you see how Xian just kind of backdashed after he blocked the crouching strong? Well, it's because he's expecting, like, because this is blocked and it's only +1, he's expecting NL, who just did 3 throws in a row, right? After his block string sequence the previous round, he's expecting NL to just walk up and throw him, right? And he does walk up. So he's half right, but he's wrong on the prediction. And NL doesn't, he's not looking for it, because if he did, he would have confirmed this. But so it's just kind of one of those things that worked out. It just so happened to work out. But so Xian's backdashing here so that if NL does do the walk up throw, just like we saw with the Punk situation, where Punk, oh, sorry, put the video away, but remember from the previous video where Punk he blocks the jump V trigger dive kick, and he just backdashed, and then Mago walks up to try to throw him, but Punk already backdashed, and then he does low forward and he whiff punished. This is like the same mindset where Xian is anticipating walk up throw, so he's punishing it with this, and this is a really strong tactic, because even if he gets hit airborne, I can't combo off of an airborne move unless it's like I juggle you or something like that, right? So Cammy doesn't really have many options besides stand roundhouse, and that's really slow, and it's not really likely for a Cammy player to do that in that situation, unless your name is Zaf, but that's besides the point. All right, so he does the walk-up throw. So this is really good. So he hits him because he knows immediately, oh, you're trying to get away from throw. All right, and usually when somebody gets hit like this by a straight hit in some sort of unintentional sequence, they kind of just like chill out. They're like, okay, I kind of overcommitted. Let me just chill out for a little bit. All right, so that's why NL kind of just goes for the throw. And he just does it. Now look what happens immediately after. So Xian's already like, oh, fuck this shit. All right, I was guessing that he was gonna throw, and I was partially right, but I was just wrong on the timing. You know, it was just a combination of miscalculations, even though he had the right idea. He knew he was gonna walk up, and he did, but he didn't throw when he expected him to. And then he literally threw him the next sequence after that. So he's like, okay, you know what? No, and I'm not getting thrown 3 times in a row like last time. So what does he do? He immediately holds up. And now look, see? That was really good. So this is the last lesson. So anytime, okay, let me back it up a little bit. So if you really want to get better at reading DPs, you really want to pay attention to how much energy is your opponent giving you leading up to this. So like, NL was playing really confident, right, in terms of the walking up and just like 3 throws in a row. He does crouching medium punches. He just walks up and throws them, and it's like back to back, right? So especially in a sequence like this, and Xian knows that like NL it will just do it, and he has the bar obviously. It was just really good. It was just smart for him to do it, especially in this sequence after a V trigger, and that's why he just dashed up and did nothing. Now this is really good. So if you want to learn how to strengthen your resets, you really want to pay attention to the meters. Meters will tell you a story. So if you look at Cammy's stun bar right now, it's damn near like she's like literally a medium punch away from getting stunned. And you'll see after this light punch hits how close it is. See? So like a medium would have definitely stunned. So NL's definitely trying to move away from this or something. He was trying to do something, right? Or maybe he just blocked the wrong way. But he was standing, so it's very unlikely that he was trying to block it, because if he was blocked, he would have just crouch blocked, right? He could have just crouch blocked it. But instead, he's standing, so he's most likely trying to jump. All right. Now, what's dope about this is that Xian just kind of committed to it. I don't think Xian expected him to get hit by it. Because if he did, he could have just did jab, jab, and then he would have stunned him, and he could have did a jumping combo and killed. I'm pretty sure of it. But instead, he's like, he already committed in his head to setting up this situation. So I guess prior to this, as soon as he gets this, in his head, he's like, I'm going to bait delay tech. Because he knows he's one back throw or a forward throw, doesn't matter, away from getting the maximum amount of damage you could take before, you know, like as the first hit of your stun. So that means the follow-up combo is going to do mad damage and give you so much bar. So of course he knows NL's smart enough to realize that. So he sets this up by doing a tick and then countering the delay tech. All right, so that's why he does this, jump that, and he catches the delay tech. So anytime you're like in a situation like that where your opponent's away from stun or they're a throw away from death, you know, like take the time and just try, you know, that's a good time to do something like a anti-throw tech. But of course, watch your feet depending on the character, because you don't want them to wake up low forward into 10 million damage like Akuma, right? Like, I don't mind walking back against like Zangief, but I don't want to walk back against like an Akuma or an Ibuki or a Urien. Urien is the worst because Urien will do crouching short, you know? So it's like, you want to take into account the opposing character and what is their typical route going into a V trigger, because you don't want to guess the wrong way and then all of a sudden in a game where momentum is just, it's just never ending, right? It's just like, it's a constant storm of just back and forth. You get momentum, I take your momentum, and then you want to avoid that. So you want to figure out which decisions will kind of cover multiple options, and I can show you guys how you would go about that. So obviously he gets the kill and it's pretty much death. All right, so that's that. So show you guys really quick how you can practice that. I'm gonna turn on PS. Great. Give me a second. On rest mode. So like after he does the EX air kunai, right? He does, let's see. Oh, there's one more situation I can actually show you guys. Let me see. So the same situation, right? You seen how, I'll play this really quick. So you see the situation, right? All right, so let me fast forward it to like, it's somewhere around here. Okay, yeah, this is it. Wow, okay. Look at this situation. This is the next round, the same situation, right? He does another air juggle. But now look what he does. Remember what I was telling you guys about the delay? Who is that? Pace. Oh, shoot. Whoop. Pacer D20, thank you for following. I appreciate it, brother. So this is the very next round, all right? He does the same, like, EX kunai juggle. And then watch this. So remember what I was telling you guys about Punk, the previous set that we analyzed, how he did the crouch, and that was like meaning he was looking for information. Well, when you do this crouch like this is typically, this means like a delay is introduced, and it's usually to protect when you do it on offense. So you do it like mid-screen, it's like for information, but when you do it offensively, it is to get information because you're trying to figure out what their timing is, but it's primarily used to delay, right? And I'm going to show you guys why this is so good. So you see how he teched that? I want you guys, do you guys see anything weird about the screen right now? I'm gonna let you guys look at it for a couple more seconds. But if you look, it says throw escape on Ibuki side. That's something that you wouldn't really notice, right? So like right above my head, right over there. Oh my god, I lost my fingers. But over there, it says throw escape on Ibuki side. And if you had headphones, if you were listening, you could hear Ibuki talking. So whichever character talks after a throw tech, they're the character that defensively tech, meaning they threw after their opponent threw. All right. So that tells you Xian did a delay throw. All right. The reason being is because if NL does a EXDP, he'll block it. So he blocks for 3 frames and then he proceed with his offense. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. All right. Let's see. All right, so let's see. So if you guys have like a real hard time with offense, it's probably because a lot of the people you play against do this. They delay defensively, so it just seems like they can block everything, but they're not really blocking everything. So I'm going to show you how you go about beating this type of stuff. So let's say I'll be, who do I want to be? I'll be Cammy. Yeah, I'll be Cammy. Cammy against, no, actually, no, I won't be Cammy. I'll be Ibuki. And then, yeah, all right. Now I want you guys to see something. I don't know why there's no game audio, but whatever. It's besides the point. All right. So peep this. So I'm gonna record. I'm gonna record. I gotta wake up. So I'm gonna record on wake up 3 different things. All right. I'm gonna wake up with a 3-frame button. All right. I'm gonna wake up with EXDP. That wasn't reversal. You see, generally want it on reversal. There you go. And then I'm gonna do wake up throw. All right. So these are 3 different options. Totally rock paper scissors, or is it? I'm gonna turn them on one at a time. All right. So we're gonna have this set to that. Okay, so that's crouch and jab, right? All right. So now I'm gonna sweep, dash up, delay throw. All right. All right. Okay, cool. You see how I'm blocking that? All right. So next option. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 is EXTP. All right. Huh. Okay. And I block that. All right. Now option number 3. Right? Okay. Now if you want to see if this is a fluke, this is all we gotta do. See? So when somebody's doing something like this, what you can do is you can do something really crazy and take advantage of their delay. So depending on your character, like sometimes what I'll do, if I know they're doing this, I'll do some crazy shit. So I'll do like, I'll do this. Granted, this is really slow. All right, this is like really slow, but you see, what's up, Derek? And then they get counter hit. All right, so that right there will now force them to start making decisions on offense where they will now do things with straight up like meaty timing, or you know what I'm saying, they're gonna just not do anything. And if they do that, then now they'll become like susceptible to, you know, like this. Right? You can get really creative with stuff like this though. You can do that. You can do say I'm playing Cammy, sometimes I'll do that. I just want to confuse my opponent because then it lets me go back to being solid, right? Because in a game like this where there's so little defensive options, you have to get creative. Right? So, and then look at that. Now she's out of the corner. Now she's out of the corner and she's plus. See, so like these are things like you want to pay attention to. So yeah. And that is that. So if you want to, now the difference is that if you're doing it offensively, like not on wake up, beyond wake up, let's say they block the first button or whatever, and now your opponent's doing it to you though, like they're delay crouch jabbing or crouch teching and all this stuff, like then you just want to do the same thing. You want to widen your frame trap. So like in Street Fighter 4, what I used to do is I used to frame trap off of negative buttons because the game was so fast, and you know, because it was so fast and because of spacing and all these things with punishing, people wouldn't always press a button. But now when you're -2, people are like, I'm gonna press a button because I know you're -2, you know. And people are way more like way more conscientious of frame data than they were in 4, like now, especially because that's what the game is about, right? It's like your turns and stuff. So now frame trapping with negative attacks is a thing still, but you'd want to do it based off of your spacing. But if you're not obviously like out of a throw range or like max distance poke range, then you don't really have much wiggle room there. So when you do it, when you do want to counter somebody that does this type of stuff, you just want to widen the frame trap. So instead of me doing with Cammy, let's say instead of me doing this frame trap, all right, which would beat this, that would beat my stand jab, right? Okay, instead of me doing that, let's say my opponent now starts doing delay tech, right? You see my throw? I'm not getting hit. So now what I want to start doing is creating variety in my pressure. So now I would do like something like that. All right, but you can tighten it more than that. Like there are better examples, because that right there is a 11 frame trap. Like that's pretty insane. You know, that's like you don't use that against somebody that does not press a button unless they see you moving forward. Those are the players you'd identify. Like there's certain players, like if I play Smug, I know Smug reacts to forward movement, so I'd use that against him all day. You know, because he'll see me moving forward and he'll press the jab, but he'll get counter hit. Because by the time he sees it, I'm like a couple frames away from being active. All right, but if I'm, so let's say if I want to do a tighter version, I could do this instead. Let me see. I'll neutral jump, dash dash. All right. Okay, there you go. I did delay, right? See, and that's a combo. That's a counter hit combo. So you can now use that against them. So like, anytime you see that type of like Xian tactic, now you guys know what to do. Just think of it as a delay. Like if they're doing it offensively, you just have to wake up and do something big, commit to something big. But if you're on the offense and you notice they're blocking everything, that means something suspect. If they're blocking everything and still teching, they're definitely delay teching. All right. And shimmying isn't as strong as it used to be because now like really good players are reacting to two things: you being in throw range like this, right? And let me turn this off. People are reacting to you being in throw range like this, and on top of that, they're reacting to you standing. So like you could be here, but they still won't tech. But then they see this, then they'll like, all right, let me delay tech now. Because by the time you walk back, if you walk back and shimmy, it's very unlikely that you're gonna get out of range, unless of course you've done like a button with enough pushback, right? But yeah, that is my lesson for today, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. I'm gonna upload this archive over to my YouTube tonight. It'll be there by the morning time with the timestamps and stuff like that. If you enjoyed it, feel free to follow me on here. Follow me on Twitter at Zaffarino1, so it's the same as my Twitch. My YouTube is also the same. I can definitely put both of those in the chat, I believe. Let's see. Boop. Yep. All right, cool. They're both on there. And yeah. So if you guys also want to support me and you have any Twitch Primes just laying around, feel free to throw them my way. I'll gladly accept those and then, you know, work towards my Twitch partnership. That way I can get some more emotes in here because I'm tired of just having one emote and not having any badges and cool stuff for you guys. But so that is all, guys. I'll be back Monday, and my Monday series is going to be about, let's see, where is it? Footsies. So yeah, that's definitely supposed to say Monday's topic. Whatever. But yeah, so the topic is going to be on footsies on Monday. So again, same time, 7 p.m. I'll probably do some sort of like random stream on the side sometime this weekend, but next time you will definitely expect me 100% is going to be on Monday. All right, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Get some random shout outs to people that are tuning in. Black Acid, of course, much love for always being here supporting your boy. Zenoid, Zendel, Kimura, thank you for tuning in. George, Shout Gamers, Shoryu Boy, Salty, Pierce D, thank you for the follow. Boris, Island Boy, Marquise, Electrical Skateboard, Damn It Dom, Commander Root, Black Acid, Derek, congratulations on your military career. I'm proud of you. Armely, Will, AJ. All right, guys, you guys are awesome. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.